Justice is a concept that often gets misinterpreted. We hear it and immediately think of punishment, of making someone pay for what they've done. We often see it through the lens of retribution, but true justice goes far deeper than that. Justice is not just about settling scores or making people pay for their wrongdoings. True justice is about balance. It's about restoring what was lost. It's about recognizing that every action has a ripple effect and that in order to move forward, we must restore harmony. When we think of justice in a personal sense, it's not about getting revenge or having someone suffer because they hurt us. True justice in our lives is about the restoration of what has been taken from us. Our time, our peace, our trust, our dignity. It's about bringing things back into alignment. It's about making things whole again, not through suffering, but through fairness, understanding, and a commitment to what is right. Justice also has a societal dimension. In a society, justice is the foundational pillar that keeps everything in check. It ensures that rights are upheld, that individuals are treated equally, and that no one is above the law. But this doesn't mean that justice only works when there's punishment involved. True justice is a balance of accountability and compassion. It's about ensuring that harm is addressed, but also ensuring that healing and redemption are possible. It's about restoring people, not just punishing them. What's often overlooked is the fact that justice is not just about consequences, it's about the pursuit of fairness, the acknowledgement that what's right may not always be what's easiest. It's about understanding that sometimes justice isn't immediate. Sometimes it takes time for the full picture to emerge, for the truth to be revealed, for the pieces to come together in a way that makes sense. In those moments, justice requires patience and faith that the process will unfold in a way that ensures fairness for all involved. True justice also calls for empathy. It requires us to see things not just from our own perspective, but from the perspective of those who may have wronged us, or even from those who are in situations we may never understand. Justice isn't about retribution against someone else's shortcomings. It's about healing, learning, and growing. It's about understanding that people make mistakes, but it's also about knowing that those mistakes don't define who they are or who they can become. True justice gives people the space to evolve, to become better, and to reconcile their actions with their higher purpose. What's powerful about justice is that it doesn't only serve to right the wrongs of today, it paves the way for a better tomorrow. Justice is a forward-looking force. It's not just about the past, but about the future. It's about laying the groundwork for fairness, understanding, and empathy to thrive. It's about building a world where we don't just look at each other with judgment, but with a willingness to uplift, to help, and to guide. True justice isn't just reactive, it's proactive. It's about creating systems, structures, and mindsets that prevent harm in the first place. It's about ensuring that people are treated with respect, dignity, and fairness, so that justice isn't something that has to be fought for, it's something that is naturally built into the very fabric of our world. Ultimately, justice is not an isolated event. It's a process, a journey that we must continue to walk every day. It's a commitment to ensuring that right is done, not just in the big moments, but in the small, everyday interactions we have with one another. It's a commitment to living with integrity, fairness, and the deep understanding that true justice is rooted in restoration, not in retaliation. Accountability is often misunderstood. It's commonly seen as a punishment, a way to hold someone responsible for something they've done wrong. But true accountability is not about condemnation, it's about empowerment. It is not about pointing fingers and placing blame, but rather about taking ownership of our actions, our choices, and our circumstances. Accountability is one of the most transformative forces we can embrace because it gives us the power to change, grow, and shape our own destinies. It enables us to break free from the cycles of blame, excuse-making, and inaction that hold us back from reaching our full potential. When we hold ourselves accountable, we unlock a new level of personal power. We stop waiting for someone else to fix things, to give us permission, or to tell us when it's the right time. Accountability is about saying, this is my life, this is my responsibility. It removes the victim mindset and replaces it with the belief that we are the creators of our own reality. It shifts us from passivity to proactivity, from being at the mercy of circumstances to becoming the architects of our future. Accountability also enables growth. Without accountability, we can't learn from our mistakes. We can't improve. When we refuse to own our actions, we miss out on the invaluable lessons that come from facing our shortcomings and adjusting our behavior. Accountability forces us to confront the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. It encourages us to ask tough questions like, what did I contribute to this situation? And what could I have done differently? These are the kinds of questions that lead to insight and growth. When we take responsibility, we open ourselves up to the possibility of transformation. It's in these moments of reflection and self-examination that we begin to see how we can evolve, how we can do better, and how we can become more than we were yesterday. But accountability isn't just about personal growth. It's also a catalyst for change in our relationships, our communities, and even our societies. When we hold others accountable, we are not just enforcing consequences. Instead of ignoring or tolerating negativity, injustice, or dishonesty, accountability invites us to speak the truth, to challenge the status quo, and to create environments where growth and improvement are not only possible, but expected. On a broader scale, accountability is what drives societal progress. When individuals and organizations are held accountable for their actions, whether in business, politics, or community matters, it ensures that decisions are made with integrity and responsibility. It is what creates systems of fairness, systems where people are not above the law or beyond reproach. It holds us all to a higher standard, pushing us to align our actions with our values, our promises, and our commitments. In a society where accountability is prioritized, there is a collective understanding that everyone has a part to play in making things right and moving forward. One of the most powerful aspects of accountability is that it's a tool for empowerment, not just for punishment. When we hold ourselves and others accountable, we are not trying to break someone down. We are trying to lift them up, to help them become the person they are meant to be. True accountability gives people the opportunity to rise, to correct course, and to make things right. It's a chance for redemption, for a fresh start, and for the possibility of becoming better than we were before. It's a chance to demonstrate that we can all learn from our mistakes, grow from our failures, and rise stronger than before. But accountability requires courage. It requires the courage to face the truth, to own up to our mistakes, and to take responsibility for our actions. It requires the courage to hold others to the same standard, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. It means challenging the things that are wrong, whether they're within us or in the world around us. It means refusing to accept mediocrity, dishonesty, or injustice. It means doing the hard work of looking within and saying, I can do better. I will do better. And when we do that, when we commit to accountability in every aspect of our lives, we create a foundation for true growth, transformation, and lasting change. Accountability is also a constant process. It's not something that happens once and then we're done. It's a continual cycle of reflection, action, and improvement. It requires us to stay engaged, to keep asking the tough questions, and to remain open to change. It's about consistently holding ourselves and others to the highest possible standard, even when the road gets rough. Accountability is not a one-time fix. It's a lifelong practice that requires commitment, persistence, and resilience. And when we commit to it, when we make it a daily habit, we unlock the power to achieve extraordinary things. We free ourselves from the limitations of our past, and we empower ourselves to create the future we truly want to see. In this way, accountability is a key to unlocking our fullest potential. It is the force that drives us forward, that forces us to evolve, and that keeps us aligned with our purpose and vision. Without it, we remain stagnant, trapped in old patterns and behaviors. But with accountability, we have the power to break free, to grow, and to create a future that reflects our highest potential. Accountability is a powerful catalyst for transformation. It is often seen as something external, a force that holds us to a higher standard. But the true magic of accountability lies within its ability to spark profound change from the inside out. Accountability at its core is not just about keeping track of actions or holding others responsible. It's about shifting our mindset and behavior in a way that fosters growth, improvement, and personal evolution. When we embrace accountability, we open the door to a world of possibilities, one where our actions align with our intentions, our values, and our long-term goals. The first way accountability transforms us is by encouraging us to take full ownership of our lives. It strips away excuses, blame, and the tendency to externalize our failures. When we hold ourselves accountable, we stop pointing fingers at the external world for why we aren't where we want to be. We stop waiting for the perfect circumstances, the right people, or the right time. Instead, we acknowledge that the power to change lies within us. Accountability means recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond to every situation, and that our choices shape our reality. It forces us to take responsibility, not only for our successes, but also for our setbacks, teaching us that both are part of our journey and contribute to our personal growth. When we stop looking for someone or something else to blame, we empower ourselves to take control of our lives and shape our own destiny. But transformation through accountability is not just about ownership. It's about the clarity that accountability brings. When we hold ourselves accountable, we're forced to confront the truth about who we are, where we are, and what we're doing. This truth isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary for growth. Accountability strips away the illusions we've built up over time and gives us the clarity we need to see things for what they really are. It forces us to look in the mirror and ask hard questions. Am I truly doing everything I can to move closer to my goals? Have I been honest with myself about my progress? Or have I been making excuses? What do I need to change in order to see the results I want? These questions bring clarity, and that clarity allows us to identify areas where we need to adjust, where we need to take action, and where we need to push ourselves harder. This process of self-reflection and truth-seeking is where true transformation begins. One of the most powerful aspects of accountability is how it helps us develop discipline. Discipline is the foundation upon which all personal growth is built, and accountability is the key to cultivating it. When we hold ourselves accountable, we make a commitment to our own success and to the values that guide us. This commitment leads to discipline because we know that without consistency and perseverance, we will not reach our full potential. Accountability forces us to stick to our word, to show up even when we don't feel like it, and to put in the hard work necessary to achieve our goals. It reminds us that transformation is not an event, but a process, and that true progress comes from doing the work day in and day out. The discipline that grows from accountability becomes a habit, and as that habit strengthens, so does our ability to create meaningful, lasting change in our lives. Accountability also transforms us by teaching us resilience. When we face the truth about where we've fallen short, it's easy to feel defeated. We may be tempted to quit, to abandon our goals, or to let our mistakes define us. But true accountability doesn't let us off the hook. It challenges us to rise above our failures and keep moving forward. When we hold ourselves accountable, we accept that setbacks are a natural part of the journey, not the end of it. Instead of allowing failure to stop us, accountability helps us use it as fuel for growth. It encourages us to learn from our mistakes, to adjust our strategies, and to come back stronger. Resilience is born from this process of accepting responsibility, facing our obstacles head on, and continuing to take action even when the path gets difficult. With accountability, we develop the mental and emotional strength to keep going no matter what challenges arise. But the power of transformation through accountability goes beyond just personal growth. It impacts our relationships and the world around us. When we hold ourselves accountable, we show up as leaders in our own lives. And our example can inspire others to do the same. Accountability in our relationships fosters trust, honesty, and respect. When we hold ourselves accountable to the promises we make to others, we build credibility and integrity. Others know they can rely on us, and this strengthens the connections we have with the people who matter most. In turn, when we hold others accountable, we help them see the potential within themselves and encourage them to step into their own power. Transformation through accountability isn't just about individual change. It's about creating an environment of growth and responsibility where everyone has the opportunity to evolve. The road to transformation is not always easy, and accountability requires courage. It demands that we confront our fears, insecurities, and limitations. It asks us to step out of our comfort zones and face the discomfort that comes with growth. But it's this very discomfort that fuels transformation. Accountability isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up, being honest with ourselves, and making the necessary adjustments to continue moving forward, even when the road gets tough. The more we practice accountability, the stronger we become in our commitment to change, and the more we realize our own potential. Through accountability, we transform not only our actions, but our mindset, our attitude, and ultimately, our entire life. In the end, transformation through accountability is a continuous journey. It's about striving to be better today than we were yesterday. It's about recognizing that we are always capable of growth and improvement, and that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens step by step, choice by choice. Action by action. Accountability is the guiding force that keeps us aligned with our true purpose and ensures that we stay on the path to becoming the best version of ourselves. It gives us the tools to overcome challenges, to stay disciplined, to bounce back from setbacks, and to continue evolving toward greatness. Through accountability, we become the creators of our own transformation, and we empower ourselves to build the life we truly desire. Building a legacy of justice is not just a task, it's a responsibility. It's a call to action for anyone who believes that fairness, integrity, and equality should be the foundation of our society. It's the recognition that we are not merely living for the present moment, but for a future where justice reigns, where our actions today shape the world our children, grandchildren, and future generations will inherit. A legacy of justice is not built overnight. It's a continuous, evolving process that demands commitment, courage, and a willingness to confront difficult truths. It requires individuals, communities, and societies to rise above the distractions and divisions of the present and make choices that are aligned with values that transcend time. At the core of building a legacy of justice is the deep understanding that true justice is about more than just following the law. It's about ensuring that every person, regardless of their background, race, gender, or circumstances, is treated with dignity, fairness, and respect. Justice is rooted in the belief that every individual deserves the opportunity to thrive, to live without fear, and to be empowered to reach their full potential. It's about creating systems, structures, and cultures that uphold these principles and stand against those that seek to undermine them. A legacy of justice is built by those who are willing to challenge systems of oppression and who refuse to allow injustice to go unchallenged. To build such a legacy, we must first look inward. It starts with each of us, with the way we live our lives and the values we uphold on a daily basis. If we want to see justice in the world, we must begin by holding ourselves accountable to those values. Are we acting with integrity? Are we treating others with fairness? Are we standing up for what is right, even when it's difficult? Our actions, both large and small, serve as the foundation upon which a legacy of justice is built. When we live in alignment with our values, when we make choices that reflect fairness, equality, and respect, we become living examples of justice. It's this commitment to personal integrity that allows us to build the credibility and influence necessary to make a real impact in the world. But the journey to building a legacy of justice doesn't stop at personal responsibility. It extends to the communities and organizations we are a part of. Justice is not only an individual endeavor, but a collective one. It requires a shared commitment to building systems that are fair and equitable for all. And this means advocating for policies that protect the rights of every person, fighting for reforms that address systemic inequalities, and holding institutions accountable when they fail to uphold the values of justice. The legacy of justice is built when we come together as a society and demand that justice is not a privilege for the few, but a right for all. This collective responsibility is what gives justice its true power, allowing it to permeate every level of our society and to touch the lives of everyone. One of the most critical aspects of building a legacy of justice is resilience. The path to justice is often met with resistance, whether in the form of people who are content with the status quo or institutions that benefit from inequality. Those who seek justice are often met with obstacles, setbacks, and opposition, but true justice cannot be built by those who quit in the face of adversity. It requires resilience, the ability to persist even when the road is long, difficult, and uncertain. Resilience is what allows us to stand firm in our convictions and continue the fight for justice no matter how many times we're knocked down. It's the belief that the work we're doing today will have a lasting impact even if we don't see the fruits of our labor immediately. Resilience is the unwavering commitment to the cause, knowing that every step we take, no matter how small, brings us closer to a world that reflects justice for all. To build a legacy of justice, we must also embrace empathy. Empathy allows us to understand the experiences of others, to see the world through their eyes, and to feel the urgency of their struggles. It's easy to become disconnected from the pain and suffering of others, especially when we don't personally experience it. But empathy requires us to go beyond our own perspective and actively listen to those whose voices have been silenced or ignored. It's only through empathy that we can truly understand the depth of injustice and the importance of creating change. When we build our actions and decisions on empathy, we ensure that the justice we pursue is not blind or indifferent, but is compassionate, inclusive, and aligned with the needs and experiences of those who have been marginalized. A legacy of justice is not built on a single voice, but on the collective voice of all people. And empathy is the bridge that connects us to that collective experience. Accountability is also essential to building a legacy of justice. It's not enough to simply advocate for fairness. We must also hold ourselves and others accountable for the actions we take. True justice cannot exist in a world where those in power are allowed to act with impunity. Accountability means holding institutions, leaders, and individuals responsible for their actions, especially when they contribute to injustice. It's about ensuring that there are consequences for actions that harm others, and that those consequences are just, fair, and proportionate. But accountability isn't just about holding others responsible, it's also about holding ourselves accountable for the role we play in perpetuating injustice. It's about examining our own biases, our own behavior, and our own complicity in systems of inequality. Accountability is the mechanism that ensures that justice is not just an ideal, but a reality, and that it's upheld by those who benefit from it and those who fight for it. In addition to empathy and accountability, building a legacy of justice requires us to be proactive. Justice isn't something that can be achieved passively. It requires intentional action day after day in every area of our lives. We must actively seek out opportunities to challenge injustice, to speak out against inequality, and to stand with those who need our support. Proactivity means being willing to take risks, to speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and to take bold steps toward creating the world we want to see. It means recognizing that justice isn't just about fighting against what's wrong, but about actively creating what's right. By proactively working to address the root causes of injustice and advocating for systemic change, we can build a legacy that is rooted in fairness and equality. Finally, building a legacy of justice requires vision. We must have a clear and unwavering vision of what justice looks like in the world, and we must be willing to fight for that vision even when it seems impossible. Vision is what gives us direction, purpose, and the motivation to continue the work, even when it feels like the odds are against us. It's the belief that a better world is possible and that we have the power to create it. When we hold a vision of justice, one that is grounded in equality, fairness, and respect for all people, we are guided by a higher purpose, and that purpose propels us forward. A legacy of justice is built on this vision, a vision that inspires us to rise above the challenges of today and create a better tomorrow. The legacy of justice is not just a dream, it is a reality that we have the power to create one action at a time. It's built on the belief that we are all deserving of dignity, respect, and equality, and that no one should be left behind when we act with integrity, when we challenge systems of inequality, when we rise above adversity, and when we work together as a society, we lay the foundation for a legacy of justice that will endure for generations to come. Building a legacy of justice requires unwavering commitment, accountability, and a collective effort to create a world where fairness and equality prevail. It's about taking ownership of our actions, fostering empathy, and standing resilient in the face of adversity. By holding ourselves and others accountable, embracing the struggles, and taking proactive steps to challenge systems of oppression, we pave the way for meaningful change. This legacy will live on through our efforts, shaping a future where justice is not just an ideal, but a reality for all. Together, we can build a world grounded in integrity, compassion, and lasting fairness.